I want to take today's podcast and some of my, like I said, my greatest ideas and my thoughts come when I'm away or after I work out. So I want to capitalize, and that's an important thing. Um, that's not about this podcast. That'll be another podcast, but how working out correlates to your ability to think, and that's an important component to it. But today I want to talk about something related to it, but the power of magnetism, good and bad, and how you can draw that energy, that magnetic energy to you, or things that you repel away. And it goes for relationships with other people that you interact with. And if you'll notice throughout maybe your work life or people that you're friends with or even with your family, there are people that you're drawn to that are magnetic to you. And you have to figure out if that power of magnetism is good or bad, if it's positive magnetism or negative. And we both have, on both sides, people that we can draw to from a negative standpoint that we repel as well, but also people that we draw to from a positive standpoint, and then positive people that we repel. And it's important for us to understand why that is. A lot of this has to do with your gut instincts and how you feel about people in general, and things you can work on to do that and help magnetism is really to become not just aware of how you feel about things, but aware of yourself and your interactions, and constantly assess those. Um, I think a real important component with trying to make sure that you recognize the difference when you meet people, the power of positive and good magnetism versus bad energy, bad magnetism, and trying to repel that um, is important in everything that you might do. So it's a critical thing with respect to magnetism, the good side of magnetism, meaning when you immediately meet somebody, how they react to you, taking a second to understand how those people might relate and feel about you, and then that magnetism, that draw that they have to you, and what is the rationale and reason for that draw to you. Um, you know it right away when you start interacting in your conversations. If you're intuitive with that conversation, you will know if that person that you go to hire, want to be a part of your team, by their reactions to what you say, if they're going to be on board. And you can know it fairly quickly. And if you don't recognize it fairly quickly and there's a mask to it, you'll recognize it the first day they start working with you, and you'll know right away. So I always think that you can't put off a person just because he necessarily might have a bad angle, but I do feel that if you get a bad vibe from an individual right away, they propel negative or bad magnetism towards you. I think the biggest mistake you have is continue to keep those people on board in the long run. They're only going to undermine you. They're not going to relate to your energy field, how you feel about things, and the chemistry behind it. Obviously, we're a bunch of neurons, atoms, all these kind of things make up our body, and we produce energy. And there's energy that mixes with you, and there's energy that doesn't. And my experience from working with people for all these years is that if you go with your gut and how that magnetism feels, and that goes with relationships as well, and you start to understand that, you'll be better at bringing in the right people into your life, and you'll repel the negative magnetism that is out there, and get those people away. Okay, and it doesn't mean that all things are good. It means that there are negatives and positive, but it means that the negative components that someone with good intentions has is going to help you. The negative components that negative intentions have is going to hurt you. So it's important for you to recognize that, and then also be able to understand when you're evaluating relationships, and when you feel something negative going on, or you feel a negative relationship, to understand if you repel that or you're attracted to it. And if you're attracted to something negative that ends up being bad for you, you've got to continually ask yourself, why are you attracted to that? And you've got to consciously work to push that away. So in the ideal world, you want to have a positive, good magnetism with you. Those kind of relationships are always going to be positive for you, whether that person sometimes has negative things or not. Good magnetisms will relate. Good relationships will bring positive energy for you, and when bad things happen, those people will be by your side. So you want to attract good magnetism and work with that within your personality to air good magnetism, that people have an energy that they want to be around you. Coach Schuman, signing off.